Hey everyone, Ben from Living Survival, and a few videos back I did one titled Hammocks for Dummies, and I showed a lot of tips and tricks in that video on how to be super comfortable when hammock camping. Now, I showed the system, my War Bonnet XLC, which is something that I have sort of stepped up to over the years, and I promised that I would put out a video on a more affordable setup. So today I have just that. I have a hammock that I got off of Amazon. This is the Fontic double hammock. It's a hammock that a lot of people start out at. It costs 35 bucks, so you really can't go wrong whether you use this for hammock camping or just simply lounging around at the park or at the beach, for example. What I thought I would do today is show you this particular hammock, which is fairly similar to a lot of other hammocks that you can find on Amazon in that price point. But the thing I like about the Fontic hammock is the suspension system, and I'm gonna go over that as well. In this video, I'm also gonna walk you through several different suspension systems, several different tarp options, and several different insulation options that you can do at an affordable price when you're just starting out. So in my previous video, I stressed length and not so much width. My War Bonnet is 11 feet long, and that allows me to get a really good diagonal lay. Now, most of the hammocks that you'll find on Amazon in that more affordable price point are going to be more like 9-foot long hammocks, 8-foot long hammocks. So you have to go to what's called a double hammock, which essentially just gives you more width so that you can still achieve that diagonal lay. I like the Fontic hammock because not only does it come with good tree straps, like I'm going to show you in a moment, but it also is 9+ feet long and only 5 or 6 feet wide, so you can achieve a pretty good diagonal lay in this particular hammock. So the Fontic hammock comes with the hammock itself. You can see it packs down pretty nicely, and it comes with a pretty good set of straps. It comes with some heavy duty nylon cord, but it also comes with webbing. And I stressed in my previous video that you want to stay away from like paracord or other nylon cordage, because it will tend to stretch, and throughout the night you're going to find yourself lower and lower, and your hang angle that you worked so hard to achieve is going to be destroyed due to the stretch of the type of webbing that you're using. So I'm going to go ahead and set the hammock up with what's included, and then I'll show you a few different options. So not only do I really like nylon webbing for its low stretch when it comes to hammock suspension, but it also really helps protect the tree. When you throw skinnier paracord or skinny cordage around the tree, you can tend to hurt the bark and things like that. So this particular hammock comes with nice wide webbing at the part where you're going to attach it to the tree. Now it's simply just sort of cow hitches through here, so you're just going to wrap that around the tree and then put the one end through the other and cinch it down to the tree. All right, so I'm just going to come to about head level on the tree, and I'm just going to throw my strap around, put the one end through the loop on the other, and then cinch it down, and you see you have a nice wide strap around the tree. Not going to hurt it at all. So what they've done here is they've tied it off into several sections in knots, similar to what you'd find with like the Atlas straps on an hammock. And that's fine. However, you lose the precise ability to get the exact hang angle that you want. So for ease of use, you can just click it into any one of these sections. Go ahead and do the same thing on the other side, but I'm going to show you a little bit different method on how you can get this a little bit more precise. So what I've done instead is I've untied all the knots, making this webbing just a little bit longer. I also carved a few toggles out of some greenwood, and all I'm going to do is a marlin spike hitch. So what you do is you just loop the cordage over itself just like that. I'm going to go ahead and reach from the bottom here and pull a loop through. I'm going to take a greenwood toggle that I quickly carved, and I'm just going to go ahead and throw that in the hitch there and tighten it up. So what that's going to do is it's going to give me a nice secure spot to clip my carabiner on. Now you want to clip it behind your hitch, but that's going to hold really tight, and it allows me to create that hitch anywhere I want on the webbing and get my hang angle correct. So here is a close-up of the webbing that comes with this hammock. You can see that it nicely wraps around the tree, protects the tree, and then instead of having knots separating my webbing, I simply just make the marlin spike hitch where I want it, and then connect your carabiner behind that hitch, and that will provide excellent suspension that's adjustable and very easy to remove when you want to take the setup down. Again, a good way to get your hammock suspension set up correctly is to use your pointer finger and your thumb, and the angle between your pointer finger and thumb will be approximately 30 degrees, and that's a great angle to have when hanging your hammock. I also hung my head in just a little bit lower, which is on the right there. That's going to help get a great diagonal lay without slipping in the middle of the night. If I need to make any adjustments, all I need to do is undo my carabiner, and I can simply just slide this hitch up a little bit, tighten it back down, and re-click my hammock, giving me a lot more precise control rather than just having knots or webbing that's separated into separate sections. Make sure you test your hammock just by sitting down in it. Make sure you get the proper height off the ground. Now, I like being sort of close to the ground so that I can cook, I can grab my shoes and things like that. Next thing you want to do, of course, is just lay back and figure out if you're able to lay flat or not. Now you can see this is a double hammock, and you get a lot of extra width on the side, so I prefer a longer hammock rather than a wider hammock. But what the wider hammock allows you to do in shorter length is lay diagonally and achieve a pretty flat, comfortable lay. So we've done pretty well so far, right? 34 bucks isn't bad for a nice double hammock, and especially a nice suspension system that comes with it. Now, if you've already purchased a hammock and have been using paracord, you definitely want to upgrade to something different, and you can use just simple ratchet strap webbing as long as it's, you know, load rated. You can easily use this the same way that I've used the included stuff that came with this particular hammock, but I could tie a loop in it, wrap it around the tree, and then I could easily use that Marlin spike hitch method to adjust it however I wanted to do so. So next we need some protection from the elements, especially rain. And we can do so just by using a basic tarp. This is just a $5 tarp. It's an 8x10, and we're gonna go ahead and get this set up, and then I'll show you some pros and cons. So this is just your average 8x10 tarp. I've staked out the sides, all four corners with some stakes, and for the ridge line, on the longer side of this, the 10-foot side, there isn't a grommet in the middle. The grommets that they put on these aren't very great either, but what you can do is you can get some of these tarp clips. They're only a couple bucks here, and you can place them wherever you want. So I've placed it in the center of the ridge line on the long part, and then I've just used some of these bungees with the adjustments on them. Again, you can pick these up like in a 2-pack or 4-pack for relatively inexpensive. So all four corners are staked down, and then on both sides I just have the tarp clips and the elastic bungees. Now, I like to run my tarp separately from my ridge line. Some people would just clip it on here right behind your hammock suspension, and that's fine, but I don't like my tarp to come down with me when I sit in the hammock. I like it to stay where it's at. Keep in mind, these grommets probably won't last very long. Again, you can get those clips, which work really well. You could get 4 more and put them on all 4 corners. The tarp itself is probably not going to last very long. You know, they do wear out over time, stretch, and you know, rub on things. So keep that in mind, but it's definitely a very, very affordable option. I'm laying pretty flat, pretty comfortable. I'm not going to slip down in the middle of the night. And then I have my tarp above me. Now, you could run a ridge line down the center of this tarp, and what that would allow you to do is hang things from it. I didn't do that in this case, but you can see that independent of the sag on my tarp, or I'm sorry, the hammock, your tarp is staying where I put it. So that's nice and definitely will work. You can then easily just fold over 1/2 of the tarp and use it to hang out at camp throughout the day. So on next to comfort and insulation. Obviously, for insulation, most people are going to use a sleeping bag. That's going to keep you covered up top, but it's definitely not going to give you any warmth underneath, because you're going to compress all the filling in the sleeping bag, and you're going to find that your bottom half and behind your back and shoulders is going to get cold even on a warmer night. So a few things you can do. One would be to just simply use a sleep pad. This is a $4 pad I picked up. You could use a yoga mat. This one's just a foam rolled up pad. I find that these work the best because they're minimal. If you get like a air mattress or something like that, it's just not going to work that well inside the hammock, at least in my experience. But you'll be very comfortable with just this setup, and that'll give you a little bit of insulation on the bottom. Now another thing you can do is you could get a second tarp and fold it in half and run it underneath, put a second sleeping bag in there, and that would maintain its loft and create a dead air space and give you some nice insulation on the bottom. You could also create a double layer and put the sleep mat underneath as well. When you're just starting out, probably the least expensive option and the option you should try first is what you see here. Just a roll-up sleep pad and a sleeping bag, and see how you go. So the last thing you're going to want to consider with your hammock setup, especially in the summer months, or if it's relatively buggy where you are with mosquitoes and ticks, you're going to want to consider a bug net. You can spray your current setup with pyrethrin spray, and that will help a little bit, but if you live in a very buggy area like I do in Michigan here in the summer months, you're going to want to get a bug net, and that's probably going to be the most expensive thing you have to purchase for your hammock setup. Now some hammocks do come with an included zipped on bug net. That's something to consider, but of course the price is going to go up. Now many people go without a bug net. They simply just put their sleeping bag, you know, up tight around them. You could even get a head bug net and just for your head, and that would work perfectly as well. Again, I'm just trying to show some affordable options for those of you that just want to test the waters or are getting started in hammock camping. So we didn't do too bad. $34 for a great double hammock that comes with a great suspension system. If you don't have the suspension system, simply use some nylon webbing that you have laying around the house. Ratchet straps, for example, will definitely work. You can use that Marlin spike method to adjust it without having to tie in permanent loops. That way you can get a little bit better adjustment and get a little bit more comfortable. A basic tarp for a couple dollars will work for you. Keep in mind it's probably going to wear out, especially at the grommets. You might want to consider getting some of those little tarp clips. Those work really well, and the bungees work really well. As far as comfort and insulation goes, again, a $4 roll-up mat or a yoga mat will work just fine. Many of us have a sleeping bag, so we have that there. So as far as the hammock setup goes with the tarp and the roll-up mat, you're looking, you know, right around $45. So that's about as affordable as I have found that you can make hammock camping. And again, this would work well for somebody that's never done it, wants to experience it, you know, wants to see if it's for them or not. Keep in mind, you know, as you move up in quality, you get, you know, a longer single hammock with an included bug net. You get a under quilt, you get a bug net, you get a, you know, a sill nylon tarp, or even just a, you know, a higher quality tarp. You're going to improve your conditions greatly. But again, this is a very, very affordable option, and it's a great place to start. I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. I'm going to include an Amazon link below to the Fontic hammock. It is the most affordable hammock that comes with decent straps that I've found. Get yourself an affordable tarp. I recommend at least an 8x10. You can make a smaller tarp work by hanging it corner to opposite corner in a more diagonal fashion, and that will work for you as well. A couple stakes, which you could definitely make yourself. Learn the Marlin spike hitch, which you can use just a couple of handmade toggles. Works really, really well with just some bungee straps, and you're on your way. I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Please give it a big thumbs up for me and leave me some comments below on what you think about this affordable setup. If you want to see some more tips, you can go back a few videos and check out my hammocks for dummies and see the most current setup that I have upgraded to. Please share this video to your family and friends who might be interested in hammock camping. And as always, guys, if you haven't already done so, please click that red subscribe button and subscribe to my channel for more videos.